Hello everyone. It's been a few days. I'm back here sat at my desk. Same old boring background as normal. Just a little catch up. Obviously, for those of you that follow the Steve Lee Agri channel, which I imagine is most of you, if not all of you. Obviously, yesterday went to the farming and machinery show for the West Country. Just wanted to chat about that a little bit. It was great to see you all. Everyone that came up and spoke and said that they watched the videos, it still baffles me now, a year on, that people are watching them and people recognise me. I spoke to a few of you and I said it's still strange to me. People come up and say hello, and I have no idea who they are. And obviously they see me most nights, and they know me and I don't know who they are, and I feel rude just kind of saying hello. Not really sure who you are, but it's lovely to meet you all. Everyone that came and said hello wants to chat about what's going on at the workshop, and obviously you know what we're up to and what our plans are. And yeah, it's just great to see you all, basically. Nice to chat to you all, and nice to know that we've got that support out there. So thank you very much for those of you that did come and say hello yesterday. Any of you that saw me and didn't come and say hello, or didn't feel like you should come and say hello, don't hesitate. I don't bite. I'm not scary. I'll always stop and have a chat. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to chat about. I thought it was a good show. It seemed like it was going to be a bit quiet at the start, but I think it did pick up throughout the day. I do still think, from talking to a few dealers and suppliers, etc., that are there, that West Point are fairly expensive on what they're charging compared to other shows out there, which are probably have a bigger footfall and might be deemed as more kind of desirable to a dealer. But hopefully it doesn't kind of deter people from wanting to go there. Because obviously it's a free show, it's a local show. I think the people of Devon, Cornwall, and into Somerset should support it, because if it doesn't do well, it will basically die a bit of a death, and then we're traveling miles and miles, hours and hours away to go to a decent show and see some good kit. So hopefully it carries on, and there's a kind of happy medium to be met there between how much money the venue want to make and yeah, how much the dealers are willing to spend to be there, because I did hear some pretty eye-watering figures from a few people yesterday. So we'll see. But at the moment, it's done well. I think that's 4 years now that they've ran it. So hopefully it continues. And obviously, with it being February, it's always a good time for farmers to be able to kind of get in there, and it's never too busy, or not busy to the point where you can't pop in there for a few hours. So had a good day yesterday. Obviously the whole team went, so it was a nice day for us to break up the week, even though obviously with the weather being the way it is, it's not exactly the busiest of weeks. But yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to chat about. Outside of that, since Monday when I spoke to you, not a tremendous amount's gone on in the world of Tom. I'm continuing to battle some kind of illness. I'm not sure what is wrong with me, because the antibiotics that I've been given aren't really helping, but I'm soldiering on like a hero. And aside from that, it's been football matches basically that I've been interested in that have popped up this week. Man United came back down to earth with a bit of a bump, managed to sneak a 1-1 draw in the end, but not a very good performance against West Ham, who are in the bottom three. And obviously the major news in the league is that Thomas Frank has finally lost his job at Spurs, which is relevant to us in the yard here, because Andrew's a big Spurs fan as well. So we're all constantly kind of ribbing each other on what's going on at the weekend in terms of football, etc. And it's not been quite as fun this year, because United have kind of picked up again from where they were last year, and Spurs haven't. So you can't really have decent banter with each other when one team is genuinely quite a lot worse than the other and they're really struggling. So hopefully they can turn it around. If they do get dragged into a relegation battle, that will be pretty funny, but ultimately it will be weird to see Spurs in the Championship. But strange things do happen in football, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that would look for English football if you had a team like that with the best stadium in the world ending up in the Championship after. Because let's be honest, they spend a lot. They do spend plenty of money. Obviously, they don't spend as much as others on wages, but a team like that shouldn't be finding themselves in the position they are for the last 2 years now. So we'll see how that goes. I've listened to a few interviews of Ange Postecoglou in the last couple of days, and it doesn't seem like the club's being run in a way to make it successful on the pitch. Although off the pitch, obviously, they're pretty much picture perfect in terms of how to run a football club in terms of a business. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of Spurs' season plays out. Aside from that, obviously Man United kind of got away with it a little bit with Chelsea's result after they let a 2-goal lead slip. And unfortunately, last night, Liverpool managed to sneak a little 1-0 win against Sunderland. So that tightens those three up, looking for that 4th spot. Because Villa, obviously, they managed to claim a 1-0 win as well, which kind of pulls them back ahead after they'd slipped a little bit. So I really think that from 3rd spot down to 5th and 6th, it's going to be a tight run thing between those 4 clubs. So I think that will be the main battle going forward, because I think City will have a bit of a gap to 3rd, but I think Arsenal will maintain that gap to City. So I don't think you're going to get too much in the ways of entertainment and drama outside of possibly Spurs and Forest being dragged down into that relegation battle, and then that battle for the Champions League spots. I think that being said, things can turn pretty quickly, but I think Arsenal are probably too good against the lesser teams at being able to play in multiple ways, and obviously usually it's those lesser teams that are using their defence and set pieces to win games, but Arsenal are able to do that as well as try and play football the right way. So I think they are going to be too strong to see City claw them in. Even if City were to win the game that they've got against each other, that's 3 points. That'll be a 3-point, obviously, a 3-point swing, but still leave a 3-point gap. And I can't see City going the season without slipping up again, because I think at different times in games they seem to go in 15-20 minute spurts where they give up a few chances that you can't really be giving up if you're wanting to win 10 games in a row, which I think City realistically are going to have to do to challenge for that title. So that's my take on the football this week. And obviously this weekend we've got FA Cup, which isn't going to involve Manchester United, and Six Nations again. So there's plenty of sport coming up to chat about. And in terms of what's been going on in the news, it seems to be dominated by Prince Andrew, or Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as I should call him. And at this point, I think the less said about him, the better. It seems that, yeah, every next story that comes out about him just makes you question him as a person more and more. Doesn't put the king in a very nice position at all either. But I think he's probably done the right thing in terms of distancing himself and trying his best to remove him from the public eye. But yeah, I don't think that's the last we're going to hear of this story, because it seems like, to my mind, he's obviously a complete wrong'un. But it's what he's been telling people and what he's kind of given up in the way of kind of British intelligence, etc., to those people in certain positions. But we'll see. I think some pretty interesting stuff's going to come to light over the next year in the way of some of the world's most powerful and most elite. And I don't think any of it's going to be very pretty. So we'll wait with bated breath on that one, because yeah, I think it could be a bit of a wild ride. But apart from that, I'll leave you there. I'll probably do another video at the weekend, just kind of, if anything of any interest anywhere happens, have a little chat about it. If there's anything you guys want to hear from me, any opinions you want, just leave a comment, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, keep watching the main channel. It's obviously still reasonably quiet, but we're praying that the weather does turn. Hopefully in the next week or so. But until then, we'll keep ourselves as busy as possible. Cheers.